Hey everyone, this is Friedel Hagaraja Raven. I'm here with my recap review of Boruto Naruto Next Generations, the anime, episode number 268, which is titled Target the School Festival. And this episode basically opens up with a scene that we also saw in the previous episode where Kwaki is like, hey, where's Kai? And Kai ends up going to the infirmary to rest, and Kwaki is like, uh-oh, she's alone. So he goes to the infirmary room, and he ends up seeing this mysterious hooded figure with a kunai about to attack Kai. But of course, Kwaki throws his own kunai at the mysterious figure who is supposed to be the assassin, and the assassin runs away. And we saw the scene in the previous episode, and we got a continuation of this in episode number 268, where Kai wakes up and she's like, well, Kwaki, what happened? And Kwaki doesn't necessarily say anything because, again, he doesn't want Kai to realize that her life is in danger and that an assassin is after her. Now, I didn't do a recap review of the previous episode, but I did do a written review of it over at the Geek Gear if you want to read my thoughts about what happened in the previous episode. So episode number 268 is basically about the kids being all excited about the school festival, and it's nighttime, and Kwaki is like, hey Kai, I'm going to walk with you to your house, and Kai is like, well, you don't necessarily have to do that. But again, Kwaki wants to protect Kai, not only because it's part of his mission, it's also because he basically has started to see Kai as a friend, and he doesn't want her getting hurt. And yeah, Kwaki is like, with an assassin after Kai, I can't leave her alone for even a second. And again, I'm like, where's Kai's butler? Shouldn't he be the one to walk her home? But yeah, it is what it is. So it's the next day, and everyone is getting ready for the school festival. We get a shot of this very, very muscled up man putting up a sign, and I'm like, okay. Yeah, everyone's excited. Even the teachers are excited, and Sheena's like, hey, the kids are very excited about the festival. And Hana is like, well, it would have been great if they were this excited about actually attending class. I mean, that was relatable. As a teacher, like what Hana said about hoping that the kids are more excited about coming to class, like that's kind of relatable. Anyway, we get to see that Hana is yawning and she's tired, and yeah, again, some people think that Hana is the assassin, but I still think that it's kind of a false alarm. I think that she's under some sort of mind control, basically, which we'll get to in a bit. So everyone is getting ready. They're in their costumes. They're making the final touches. A crowd started gathering outside, and this is where Himawari ends up asking Kwaki about why he ran to the infirmary last night. Did something happen? And of course, Kwaki doesn't tell Himawari anything because he doesn't want Himawari getting involved and getting hurt. And also, Kwaki is getting a bit paranoid because he's like, okay, so maybe the assassin has already infiltrated the academy. Is he someone I know? He looks at the students in his class, and I'm like, no. I highly doubt that it's one of the students. I highly doubt that. So we get to see Boruto and the gang attending the festival. They're very excited. They're like, okay, the junior students have done a great job. We get a scene where Hana walks in to talk to her students, but she has this headache and she falls to the ground. And again, I have a feeling, and other fans have the same theory, that Hana might be under some sort of genjutsu or mind control, and we're getting to see the effects of that mind control on her, with her feeling tired and having headaches and whatnot. So we also get the scene where Chocho ends up tasting the candy that kid from class who I think his parents run a sweet shop. He ends up asking Chocho to taste his treats, and you know what? It makes sense. It really makes sense that he would go to someone like Chocho, who is known as basically the best in the Leaf Village when it comes to having a palate and judging food. And Chocho actually gives him some good constructive advice. So good for this kid, good for him. And as far as Iwabi, Denki, and Metal Lee are concerned, they end up going into a haunted house, and Denki is like, hey, I highly doubt that it's actually it's going to be haunted because we are in the age of science and ninja tools, and basically I guess ghosts don't exist. But no, the kids ended up doing a very great job of creating a haunted house. Basically, they ended up using their experience from that particular episode where they were trying to uncover the 7 mysteries of the ninja school. they ended up using that experience to create a haunted house, and I liked how that episode ended up linking to this episode. And we also got a scene where Neon tells Denki that in order to analyze ghosts and supernatural hauntings, they have been using scientific ninja tools and drones and whatnot. So basically, it's like kind of saying that, you know what, scientific ninja tools and technology has a place in the supernatural, in a sense. And then we get a scene where Boruto and everyone are trying to win prizes, and Boruto ends up winning a prize, but then Salad and what's the other girl? Tsubaki? I guess that's her name. It's been a very long time. Anyway, Salad and Tsubaki, and Salad even uses her Sharingan to win the gift, so she's very serious about this. And yeah, the kids are like, you know what, we should have banned people who do this for a living because they're going to win everything. And then we get to see Asuka's mom attending the festival because she wants to see the debut of her daughter and her friends. And I'm also like, where's Asuka's dad? Shouldn't he be here too? But yeah. Anyway, we get a scene where Kwaki, Kai, Himawari, Asuka, and that girl who's all about collecting tea and whatnot, and all of these news things, gossip columns. Basically, they're all talking. They're all standing outside, and they're looking at Asuka's mom. Coming to support Asuka, and this is where I could be wrong, but I think that this is where Kawaki asks Kai where her butler is, and Kai is like, no, he's busy, he had something to do. And again, it could be the butler. Who knows? It would make sense because the butler is the closest to Kai, basically, especially outside the academy. But anyway, because the Kwaki is being paranoid, he ends up noticing these two figures in these hoods, and he runs towards them. But it turns out that they're just these normal people, and Kwaki's like, "Oh, sorry, I thought you guys were someone else." And this is where also Kwaki's like, maybe I was wrong about the person who was going to attack Kwaki, right? Maybe that person isn't the assassin. And I'm like, Kwaki, no, don't be paranoid at that level. That really was an assassin. And we get a shot of the assassin on top of the academy, and the assassin's mask, it does feel very feminine in my opinion, and the assassin is looking at Kai down on the ground. And then yeah, everyone is in costume again. Everyone is getting ready. It's time for them to do the play, and Kai is up next. And this is where Kai ends up telling Kwaki that she appreciates his friendship and that she's having a great time at school because of the friends that she ended up making. And again, Kwaki doesn't want anything to happen to Kai. But before Kai can go onto stage, there's this explosion. And yeah, Himawari comes in and she has a note for Kwaki. Kwaki reads it. So basically, there is this terrorist who is threatening to attack the academy and all of the civilians inside, and apparently this terrorist has all of these paper bombs attached around the academy. And of course, the teachers are like, what the heck are we supposed to do? They have like 20 minutes to find all of the paper bombs and defuse them, and if they end up calling the police or something, then I guess the assassin is going to defuse the paper bombs earlier and hurt everyone. So the teachers are on their own basically. And they're like, okay, let's do this. But of course, Boruto and the rest of the ninjas, the young ninjas, come in and they're like, hey, we'll help you out, okay? Everyone is going to help everyone out. And while that's happening, Iki and the rest of the kids are like, hey, we don't necessarily appreciate being pushed to the sidelines. So Iki is talking to Iahu. I think his name is Iahu, right? Io or something like that. So Iki is like, hey, let's go find the paper bombs by ourselves. So these two kids, they run away. And Inoue ends up taking to the sky, and he's the one who notices all of these. These are a lot of paper bombs in a sense. Like the assassin on the terrorist, that person wasn't necessarily trying to hide the paper bombs. So everyone is diffusing the paper bombs. Shino is using insects to get to the paper bombs planted inside the vents. How the assassin or the terrorist ended up placing those paper bombs inside the vents, I have no idea. So while Shikamaru, Mitsuki, Salad, and Boruto are taking away the paper bombs, Shikamaru is like, hey, not Shikamaru, my bad, Shikadai. Shikadai is like, hey, don't you think that the assassin would know, or the terrorist would know, that we would be pulling off these paper bombs like this? Like, what's the plan here? And Boruto's like, hey, I get that there's some sort of plan, but this is our current objective. We can't let anything happen to the academy or to the people. So let's get our job done. And while that's happening, this is where this is where Himawari and Kawaki are. They're still with Kai, and this is where Yahoo runs in, and he ends up telling Kawaki that Iki ended up finding these paper bombs, and those paper bombs are very close to being diffused, and yeah, they're going to explode. And Kawaki's like, "Yep, I need to go and help Iki." And Himawari is like, "Hey, I'll come with you." And Kawaki is like, "No, no, 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 no. You stay here. Keep an eye on Kai, okay, Himawari?" And Himawari is like, "Okay, I can do that." So Kawaki runs away. Not necessarily runs away, he goes to help Iki, and this is where Hana comes in, and Hana is like, "Hey, where's Kawaki?" And they're like, "Well, Kawaki went outside to help Iki," and Hana's like, "No, I have to bring him back." And I'm like, "Hana, what the heck are you doing?" So so we get to see Kawaki noticing the paper bombs that Iki noticed, and yeah, one of them is about to explode, and they can't just pull it off. So Kawaki is like, yep, I can't defuse it, basically. So I need to do something. So he ends up pulling away the paper bomb that's about to explode. He jumps in the sky. He creates a shadow clone, and then he pushes his own shadow clone into the sky while the shadow clone is holding the paper bomb. We see Kawaki's shadow clone in the sky up high. The shadow clone disappears, and the paper bomb explodes. And I'm like, where the heck are the rest of the kids? Why hasn't Boruto and everyone else come to this place where the explosion happened? But I guess it is what it is. So while that's happening, someone throws a smoke bomb in the gym that everyone is, and yeah, everyone is cussing. They can't see, and this is where Himawari notices that someone is going after Kai. She uses her Byakugan to look at the assassin, and she ends up pushing the assassin away. She grabs Kai's hands and she takes Kai outside, and yeah, the assassin decides to attack Kai again, and this is where Kawaki comes in to defend Kai. And again, where the heck are the rest of the kids? Like, how big is this academy? It can't be this big, especially for ninjas, because ninjas travel fast, right? And Kawaki's like, "Hey, I won't let you hurt Kai." So he goes after the assassin runs away, and because the assassin isn't necessarily in the mood to fight Kawaki, and I highly doubt that an assassin would be able to win against Kawaki in a direct fight, the assassin ends up throwing these kunais with exploding bomb tags around Kawaki at the building, and yeah, everything explodes. And the assassin runs away, and once the smoke settles, we get to see that Hana is under the rubble, and Kawaki is like, "Oh no, she came outside to look for me, right?" And he feels bad about it. So yeah, Hana has been injured, and again, I have no idea whether or not she is under some sort of mind control or genjutsu. She could be. So it's nighttime. I think the situation was handled properly, and yeah, this is where Kai, she ended up putting everything together, and she's like, "Kawaki, what was I the target? I am the target, right? The assassin is after me." And Kawaki doesn't necessarily say anything, and Kai is like, "Well, I knew something was up because of how my father was acting and other grown-ups were acting around me." And she ends up asking Kawaki whether or not he knew that an assassin was after her. And Kawaki doesn't say anything because, again, he doesn't want to blow his cover about basically guarding and being friends with Kai because he had a mission. Because of course he doesn't want to hurt Kai's feelings, even though he ended up seeing Kai as a friend. It didn't start out that way, and he just doesn't want Kai to think that him being her friend was because of him doing a job, basically. But anyway, this is where the episode ends, and yeah, Kawaki basically failed to report an assassin being after Kai, so I guess that's going to come into play in the upcoming episode, and I will be doing a review of this for the Geek Theory. The link to my review will be down in the comment section below. Let me know what you thought of the episode, and yeah, until next time, stay happy, stay safe, stay blessed. See you guys later. Bye.